This is the familiar roar of the New York Police Department's elite motorcycle brigade announcing the arrival of 8,000 volunteer marchers.
And leading the pack is Macy's mighty executive producer, Amy Kuehl. Accompanying her today, the young science students from the organization called FIRST and the obedient robots they built.
Now, Comcast and NBC Universal supported more than 50 teams from FIRST last year and will again this year, starting in January.
The first ever Thanksgiving Day parade was actually called the Macy's Christmas Parade that year in 1924 when Matt first hosted. Macy's employees dressed up as clowns, cowboys, and other costumed characters and traveled with Central Park Zoo animals. It was a lengthy 6 miles from Harlem to here in Herald Square.
That's right. I wish I had a comeback, but it was actually true what you said.
And true to tradition, here comes the parade's first horse, the Tom Turkey Float. Adding to the trimmings this morning is the editor-in-chief of the Sandra Lee magazine and member of the Today Show family, celebrity home and cooking expert Sandra Lee. And while you stuff that turkey, we're going to tell you some stuff about turkeys. It's estimated that 45 million of them will be gobbled up today. Do you know that is 1/6 of all turkeys sold in the U.S. each year?
Now, with its wings flapping, eyes rolling, and head bobbing, this old bird is grateful to be the one that got away.
From the biggest bird in the parade to the biggest...
Constant Powell Woodstock fly as an entirely new balloon. This is not your grandfather's Snoopy. It's the 7th different design of Snoopy to appear in the parade dating back to 1968. In fact, Snoopy has flown in the Macy's parade more than any other character.
So he proudly smiles as his bird buddy steers his ears for their record-setting flight. A digital version of their new balloon in the Macy's parade can be seen in the Snoopy Street Fair mobile game.
Flying in the Macy's parade. The 8th book in the best-selling Diary of a Wimpy Kid series, Hard Luck, hit stores earlier this month, and author Jeff Kinney is poised to have another gigantic winner on his hands.
You know, Abrams Publishers reports that there are over 115 million Wimpy Kid books in print worldwide, translated into more than 44 languages, and that translates into anything but Wimpy. Oh yeah, here he comes, or should I say, oh yeah.
Here he comes. That's right, the man in red everyone loves. We're not talking about Santa Claus, it's Kool-Aid Man, presented by Kraft Foods. Flashing his iconic 9-foot smile, Kool-Aid Man stirs up holiday cheer the whole family can enjoy.
If he doesn't have you smiling already, maybe this fun fact will. It would take 11,000 gallons of Kool-Aid to fill up a pitcher that big.
Kool-Aid has been bringing smiles since 1927 and will continue to do so with a couple of new flavors this year, Sharkleberry Fin and Green Apple. Well,
his hat, and coming to us from his pineapple home under the sea, Spongebob Squarepants, everyone's favorite yellow sponge, stars in the hit cartoon that chronicles his nautical and sometimes nonsensical adventures.
The Nickelodeon series has been the most watched show with kids for the past 12 years and is seen in more than 170 countries.
here
78-foot-long Spider-Man feels quite comfortable crawling overhead. After all, New York is where he makes his web. If a radioactive spider hadn't bitten him, Peter Parker wouldn't have gained the speed, strength, and powers of a spider. And the world's greatest superhero wouldn't have entertained fans all across the globe through comic books and TV.
Good time to remind you, you can catch Sony Pictures' The Amazing Spider-Man 2 on the big screen this summer.
Video games and the Pokemon trading card game.
I like the way your voice goes up on Pikachu. Pikachu! With its global launch this fall, the Pokemon X and Pokemon Y video games introduce fans to a breathtaking 3D adventure featuring never-before-seen Pokemon in a brand new world. Parade comes this giant balloon of Finn and Jake from the hit series Adventure Time, of course on Cartoon Network. That's young adventurer Finn and his best friend Jake the dog, two righteous heroes from the magical land of Ooh.
And now they're here in New York City to join other celebrated cartoon characters that are the hallmark of Macy's parade.
When they're not floating over our heads, you'll find Finn and Jake exploring dungeons, saving princesses, and playing video games with their good buddy Beamo.
And by the way, join Finn and Jake for a special Adventure Time marathon. That's today on
Lightyear. Buzzing the crowd with his jetpack fired and wings extended, Buzz's balloon is the first to use a clear material, which makes up his 17-foot space opera.
And you can catch Buzz Lightyear and his Toy Story friends in Disney Pixar's first ever television special, Toy Story of Terror, airing this fall.
And now we're stirring.
Virginia O'Hanlon, the 8-year-old girl dressed up in her winter's best, off to mail the most important letter she's ever written. It's addressed to the editor of the New York Sun newspaper, and it asks that timeless question, is there a Santa Claus?
And then the Sun printed this answer. Santa lives, and he lives forever. For the second year, Macy's Yes, Virginia, the musical, is being performed this holiday season by schools all around the country.
That route for him is one of Santa's favorite elf-on-the-shelf helpers. At 64 feet tall, our elf in the sky is the largest balloon ever to appear in the Macy's parade.
You need one big shelf. As this big guy smiles at the crowd, millions of Little Scout elves are preparing to leave the North Pole to join their families, and some have already left. The Elf on the Shelf's new book, A Birthday Tradition, is in stores now.
NBC's